Wait. Woo! He would like forget like the most obvious things sometimes, like going to a tennis tournament. He would like forget his shoes or something.
He would just get in the car and we'd show up places and we'd look and he would have no shoes on and it just wouldn't occur to him to put on shoes, which is what I feel like most people have that. They know to put on their shoes when they leave, but Blake didn't. He was in his own little world a lot.
I remember one time we were driving to the beach, the whole family, and we're probably 3/4 of the way there, or if not almost all the way there, and Blake goes, "Dad, where are we going?" And we had been planning on going to the beach for like 2 weeks, and you know everybody else knew where we were going, but he didn't care. He just got in the car, was riding, realized probably after a while that we'd been driving a while, so he was probably somewhere cool that we were going, so finally he asked.
I call it Blake's world. You know, when he'd eat, he'd always be the last one eating. When he was playing, he'd always be in another playful spot.
One of the things that we always used to ask, before I closed the doors of the bus, I would say, "Where's Blake?" And then everybody'd look around and I'd go, "Okay, somebody go find Blake." You know, he was definitely a person who enjoyed the journey of where he was going. Getting there fast was not important to him. Getting there well was.
At dinner, my parents would like make a point to be like, "Robert, lunch. Okay, Blake, do you have anything to say?" And he'd just like.
One of the ironies about Blake is that in some ways he was very quiet. At the same time, like Rick said, he was very playful and in incredibly creative, fun ways.
Here's Blake. Gonna put the marbles in.
Today we're gonna do 7 marbles, because that's 5 under 12.
When Blake's there, it's Creativity City. You know, it's marbles bouncing down the stairs. It's new forms of ping pong.
We made up a game and we called it shoe. Just shoe, I don't know. And we just put all these shoes at the bottom of the stairwell. And we just throw a bouncy ball up the stairs and have it bounce down. And if you got it in a shoe, then you got a point. And I don't know, we just did random things like that.
It made it! Yeah! Oh my God! Yeah!
His playfulness and his kindness endeared him to all.
Oh yeah, Blake had a video camera. He just liked to videotape like everything. Like we would play ping pong and he would like set up the video camera in case we got like a sweet ping pong point. He wanted to like be able to go back and watch it.
He was funny and fun and silly, but he was just such a good kid. Well, like he's like the kind of kid that you want your kids to see.
Life was never about him. And that's one of the things that made him so endearing and his loss so shocking was it really wasn't about him. You know?
Very humble. He never took the attention on himself. He just put others first. That was very clear.
He was just so unbelievably compassionate, especially for his age, and was not self-absorbed at all.
Something about Blake is that he was just like uninfluenced by the world. It was so amazing to meet somebody who just didn't really care like what clothes he was wearing, like really didn't care at all.
He was always including everybody, no matter what was going on.
He was so good at that, like making everybody that he saw feel special. Like it didn't matter, you know, if they were his age, not his age, if they did the things, activities he did or didn't. Like he was just he treated everyone the same.
One Saturday afternoon, Alexander had a tennis tournament in Greensboro, and he was actually going to face Blake. So we were driving up, and I was telling Alexander I was getting serious, you know, lace up, get ready, get tournament ready. And so we were real serious, and we were just cruising down the highway, and we looked over to our right. We were passing a car and noticed it was Lauren driving Blake and car behind her. And Blake knew it was us, and he just looked over there and just did this contorted face against the windshield and just started cracking up and laughing. And Alexander and I just cracked up. We just kind of lost it because here, you know, Blake wanted to compete and win as much as anybody did, but he was still just enjoying himself. It was sort of a sign to us to maybe just like chill out a little bit, you know, and just go, it's not that, it's just tennis.
Blake was like, he seemed like as close to like the perfect friend as you can get. I mean, like you could be totally yourself around Blake. Like you didn't have to try and be someone you weren't around him. He was just one of those people who's fun to be around, but you don't have to like You don't have to try and be someone else you aren't around him.
The other thing about Blake that was very noteworthy is he was a very good athlete. I mean, a very good athlete. If it's playing ping pong, which I've played with him, and I thought I was decent, I mean, he could beat me handily.
He was an incredible ping pong player, and so Robert had this idea for this Christmas to get him this thing that shoots like rapid fire machine gun ping pong balls. But to see Blake play tennis is actually to see Blake in action.
One of the matches I went to, I was completely floored at the level of tennis.
Well, he gave away a couple of years, a couple inches, and 30 or 40 pounds to most all of his opponents. It didn't make any difference to him. He just played the game as hard as he could play it.
He was little, and so he'd be out there on the bench. Sometimes he'd be swinging his legs and drinking out of his cooler and just chatting with his opponent, and then he'd go and he'd beat him. So
I think people would kind of be, kind of thrown for a loop when they start playing him and realize that, he might be small and look like a little kid, but he's really good. So
he was athletic, but it was more than athletic. He was like almost graceful. Like everything looked natural when he did it.
He was really competitive, but he didn't have a bad temper at all.
He always had his composure and kept it in perspective.
he wanted to win, but he enjoyed it so much.
If he could be up 4-1, 5-love, and you'd have to remind him to put the score up on the tennis balls. Because he really didn't care. He didn't care what anybody else knew. He was playing for himself and for his team, and that was the way he played.
That's what really struck me about him, was his ability to sort of enjoy the moment, regardless of the end result.
He kept his focus on the things that were important. He didn't concentrate on things that weren't important. And I think that's the way he played tennis, and that's the way he lived life.
It's such a shock, first of all. It's not a huge school, so everybody pretty much knows each other, especially within a grade. And so that loss was really very, very difficult.
The students needed ways to express their grief, and different ones needed different vehicles. And so we put up posters across the wall where the kids could write just tributes to Blake, messages to Blake, and they wrote for days. And I think if we still had them up, they'd still be writing.
Everyone came together in a way that we hadn't been together before, sharing that common grief, but also that common just feeling of where do we look for answers.
Why would God allow this to happen? I think that's the question on everyone's heart. And I don't have an answer. I don't think nobody has an answer. But it was also an extremely poignant time of experiencing God's faithfulness, and just a real time of clarity about the gospel and about eternal matters, and how much vastly more important they are than all of the things that I spend a lot of my daily time thinking about and worrying about.
I remember being over at the Hubbard's house one night during that week, and Patty had a Bible, and she was hanging on to it. And I asked her what it was, and she said, "It's Blake's Bible." And she showed me a page where he had written, I gave my life to Christ in such and such a date when he was younger. They later discovered that on the backside of that, he had written even more recently about his recommitment of his life to Christ. And so I think for a parent to see that there was that physical evidence of what had gone on in Blake's heart, that was a huge comfort to them.
To have that written, like just his handwriting in that, I think is something so unbelievably precious to have.
He loved Jesus, and I know because he specifically would tell my parents, oh, I'm praying for one of my friends in my class.
It's remarkable. For a 14-year-old boy, freshman in high school, he was talking to other kids, his peers, about his faith. And that's a scary thing to do.
Because his faith was so important to him, like, I think that's going to be amazing to show my girls that you don't know when your time is done. Like, he lived, even as a little boy, his life for Christ.
It was Monday morning before I went to school, and I heard a knock on my door. And I opened it up, and it was Jeff Hubbard. And he stood there. I opened the door. He goes, "I got to talk to you." He came inside, and he sat down, and he said, "Listen, you need to tell people this. We are dying inside, but we are going to be okay. And we're going to be okay because we know that Blake is with Christ."
In a way, I believe this decision of playing tennis was a glimpse of other decisions I've made in my life, such as becoming a Christian. I became a Christian in 2006 when I was 8 years old. At the time, I didn't realize how big this decision was. This is the same way with me walking onto the court for the first time and trying something unknown, which soon became a big part of my life. After I became a Christian, I tried to grasp the faith even though I didn't understand it. This too is the same with tennis. I didn't understand the techniques of playing the game, yet I took on the task anyway. And lastly, I will always continue striving to achieve my best, whether in the game of tennis or in my Christian faith.